Good evening, folks. Welcome back. Let's 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 cook.
Developing tonight, a Beaumont police officer is recovering from serious head injuries in Houston. Good evening to you. I'm Jordan Williams. The officer fell off of a car while responding to a disturbance outside of Little Woodrow's early this morning. Police say 28-year-old Jameisha Butler and 22-year-old Melissa Bell had too much to drink. An officer put Bell in his car, arresting her, but Butler took off. And the video shows what happened next. We have to warn you, it's difficult to watch. Butler headed for her convertible. The responding officer not far behind. You'll see here, he jumps onto the back of the car, hoping to stop her, but instead he fell off and hit his head on the pavement. 12 News reporter Ebony Coleman joins us. And Ebony, folks at nearby businesses say this really highlights ongoing security challenges.
So Jordan, we want to warn you that the video that you just saw, it is difficult to watch. Police tells us that the officer was originally called to the bar for a disturbance. He was injured while trying to arrest the two women.
You may have seen this viral video. It shows the officer, who hasn't been identified, attempting to stop a woman who was driving away at Little Woodrow's on Phelan early Friday morning. The woman inside the car is 28-year-old Jameisha Butler. You can see as the officer jumped on top of the car, but he fell off and hit his head on the pavement. 12 News spoke to Ashley Johnson, branch manager at Regional Finance. She works a few doors down from Little Woodrow's. Johnson calls the incident concerning.
For that to happen and only be one cop out here, I think that was very dangerous, the way the car just sped off, and that was just it. So it's a little bit concerning.
Johnson says she blames the trouble on the younger crowds the bar seems to attract.
Every so many months, there's something going on there, and I just think it's because the crowd is getting bigger.
Johnson wishes the West Park property owner, Albanese Cormier, would also beef up safety so she feels safe walking to her car after work.
Maybe having one security guard on duty is not enough. Maybe you need to have more, or maybe you need to implement other rules. Maybe, have people inside walking. If you instantly see something about to happen, maybe you can let that group of people go early versus letting things linger on. And
I've reached out to Albanese Cormier, the West Park's property owner, to discuss the security concerns. I haven't yet to hear back from anybody. I'm in studio, Ebony Coleman, 12 News.
Thank you, Ebony. Butler is charged with intoxication, assault, and evading detention. Police say both charges are enhanced because they involve serious bodily injury to an officer. The second woman, 22-year-old Melissa Bell, was arrested before the officer was hurt. She faces multiple charges, including public intoxication, resisting arrest, interference with public duties, and assault on a peace officer.
Well, folks, you guys saw that video, and I want to talk about the man in uniform, and not the guy, not the officer that got hurt, specifically, but this man in uniform concept is something that I talk about all the time because I'm always talking about emotional discipline, because a lot of people like to talk about emotional intelligence, but they never talk about the discipline that it requires that goes with it. If you do not have emotional discipline, you do not possess emotional intelligence. You are led by your ego, and you're going to make decisions like this. Notice they said there was alcohol involved. These are the type of decisions you make when those spirits that you consume, that's why they call them spirits, possess you. So in this man in uniform concept, it's like this right here. If you can't maintain your emotional discipline, you can't access your emotional intelligence. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what I'm saying. So hypothetically, let's all go in the dream world right now, okay? You're driving, you get pulled over. The police come over to your door, license, registration, and all of that stuff. Now you have a decision to make. You comply with the officer, give them what you got, and things go smoothly if you cooperate. Because you might either be in a space to just get a warning or an actual ticket, but you get to leave with your personal safety. These are, hot button topics, and people make a choice to leave, like all common sense behind, and it can escalate a situation very quickly. And I don't think anybody really wants to have their life on the line unnecessarily, but here you are, you made a violation, or you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But needless to say, it's up to you for self-preservation to make the right decision. So you got a choice. You comply, deal with the situation as it is, and move on about your day, like I said, or you take the alternative route. Just like in this video, they took an alternative route. You decide in this hypothetical scenario to get chippy with the officer. You don't know what's going on in that officer's background, how he's behaving. You don't know anything about him. So you decide to give him some lip. You escalate the situation, and you go from getting a ticket or a warning to getting some jewelry slapped on your wrist. Yes. Now the man in uniform, pay attention, man in uniform escorts you from your car to his car. Now you're getting transported to the local jail or bail, yeah, the jail, whatever situation that is. Now you're getting taken by the man in uniform to go meet other men in uniform at the Department of Corrections or wherever you're going to, where you're going to get booked by a man in uniform. That man in uniform books you, hands you a uniform, sends you into a little room, you change your clothes, and you put on a uniform that makes you part of the general population while you're in holding. So while you're there, guess what else you got to listen to while you're there? You guessed it, another man in uniform and tell you when to lay down, sit down, be quiet, use the phone, and when to eat. 5 things they're going to tell you what to do. So you're going to have to listen to the man in uniform at some point. And in this video, the mistakes and the decisions that they made changed the relationship that they had with the man in uniform, So they opted for chaos, and because they opted for chaos, they get to experience the whole shebang of nonsense. They get to go through the drama again, So the man in uniform, that even when you see it in this video, you're going to always keep this in mind. No matter what you got going on, you're going to have to listen to men. You have to respect men. You have to understand that people got a job to do, and you could either make it more difficult or more costly and more expensive. This is a hell of a way to start off the year by having to deal with the man in uniform. Understand this could have been completely avoided, especially when there's alcohol involved. And then now this is what you're known for. You jeopardize some man's safety, and now we got to have a whole different type of discussion, a different type of litany of charges. And now everybody's in your business because you didn't want to listen to the man in uniform. Keep that in mind the next time you're doing things. If you got people around you that have no respect for men, they definitely gonna end up having to respect the man in uniform. I keep saying that because I want that to be driven home. At this stage where people's emotions are running so high and people are so motivated to act on impulse, you don't know what type of situations you're triggering with people, because the folks that's in uniform make emotional decisions too. You don't know what they ran into earlier that day. We don't know what anybody's problems are. So I wanted to make sure that I dropped off this hot nugget of information so we can have better outcomes throughout 2025 without having to deal with the man in uniform any more than we need to. Think about that the next time you get ready to make a decision. Enact your emotional discipline, engage your emotional intelligence, survive the encounter, and make self preservation paramount. For everyone that tuned in, I greatly appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow Accountable Masculinity on Facebook, Accountable Masculinity University on YouTube, and make sure you stay tuned for more episodes of Beyond the Algorithm. And I'm your host, Victor Vinciant, and I'm out.